55% of you watching this video right now have less than 1,000 monthly listeners on Spotify, and about a third of you have less than 100 monthly listeners on Spotify. So in this video, I'm going to show you how you can get your first 1,000 monthly listeners on Spotify for free. So the first thing we're going to talk about is online content creation. And in this category, I'm talking about social media, YouTube, but also like blogging and podcasting and whatever. And the reason I'm talking about it first is because this topic is beaten to death online. So I'm going to say just an average thing I'd recommend. I would say focus on TikTok and Instagram Reels, but definitely still post on Instagram feeds, Facebook feeds, and also take advantage of Instagram and Facebook stories and YouTube. So in total, what I'd recommend doing is on TikTok and Reels, try to post 1 to 2 videos a day. And remember, I'm talking about sticking with something for like 6 months straight, not doing it for a week and giving up, something you can do for 6 months straight. So posting a video or two a day on TikTok and Reels, and maybe also the YouTube Shorts. On the Facebook feed and Instagram feed side, a couple videos a week. All your Reels and all of your feed posts on Instagram and Facebook, share them to your Instagram stories. So that way your followers have a higher chance of seeing them. And you can share them to your stories multiple times as well. And also every day on your Instagram stories, I would just share one of your songs to Spotify, honestly, because you can do that as many times as you want, essentially. And then on the YouTube side, every time you drop a song, if it was me, I'd say make a visualizer video. Let's say you're dropping a song a month, drop a visualizer video one week, maybe the next week drop a lyric video, maybe another week do a behind the sines video, maybe another week it's an instrumental version. You can pick, you don't have to do that many. That's what I would do. And if you prefer a more less camera time, you might want to substitute some of these things with a podcast or a blog or something else. Maybe you start something on Reddit that no one's ever done before. But you need to be able to think of some content that you can relate to your brand and pull people in, regardless of the specific platform and regardless of the medium. Everyone talks about TikTok and Reels, but the more important thing is something that you can stick with for a long duration of time and probably be on several platforms at once, because you're probably not going to have the best idea of where your people necessarily are from day one until you test some stuff out. So the second thing we're going to talk about is social media engagement and community interaction. So what do I mean by that? Well, you're going to want to go on whatever social media platforms you want to be dominant in and follow 10 to 20 different creators, music artists in your subgenre, and kind of follow what they're doing, but also every time they post, read through their comments and just try to be a real person. So engage with people, reply to other people's comments, leave your own comments. Don't beg people to check out your music, just be an active member in that community. And I would say every day, let's say you follow 10 to 20 people on, let's say, TikTok, for example. And just go and see what they're posting, and every day maybe try to leave like 5 comments and like 5 posts, and do that across a couple different of the people that you're following or a couple different hashtags you iron out. Basically, you just want to have as many places on the internet that people could possibly click on your profile name and make their way back to your profile. You're not asking people to. It's just that it's kind of a law of probability that if there's a button in 1,000 places on the internet that people can click to find your profile, they're more likely to find your profile than if you're not posting anywhere. Even though you're not asking people to, there's just a higher probability. So that's where the whole community engagement thing. So in social media, that just involves finding channels that are kind of have the fan base you want and just interacting and being a member of that community. On things like Reddit, that might mean finding subreddits where people who are part of that fan base are hanging out. On Facebook groups, same thing. Find a relevant Facebook group, maybe for a specific artist that you love, or maybe for a specific genre of music that you're in. And just again, be an active member of the community. Never spam your own stuff. Only really share your stuff when asked to share your stuff. So the next thing we're going to talk about is live stream music reviews. And I used to do one of these that I called Music Review Monday. I haven't done it in a while because they're a lot of work. I want to start doing it again. But basically what I would do is let people submit music to me and I would listen to it on stream and give feedback. But the cool thing about these types of live streams is that there's a lot of artists hanging out there. There's also a lot of music fans hanging out there. And you kind of get to talk to other people that are making music in a similar style as you, potentially collaborate, potentially swap playlist promotion. Let's say you have a playlist with 100 followers. They have a playlist with 97 followers. You just kind of trade placements on there. So it can be a really good way to kind of meet other people in this community of the genre that you're building. So you're going to have to do some research. Go on Twitch and just search music review. Go on YouTube, search music review. There's a bunch of people that do it. Bruce Long, KD, at least for a while, I don't know if he's going to do it forever, has done a music review stream every Friday. And then MMXVII or 2017 or just 17. He does a music review streams, I believe, several times a week. So, those are some people you can look up and find. But the way, so for example, my biggest song, Chains, that has like at least now 1.3-ish million streams, that was a song that I did in collaboration with a vocalist that I found on a music review stream. So I was listening to this music review stream and I heard this awesome vocalist and I was like, I would love to work with this dude. So I just DM'd him on Instagram and we made a song together. And it ended up being my most popular song. So, that's kind of an example how even, it's not like he was a bigger artist, so that's what made the song pop. It's that, like, we were able to kind of chat and make an awesome song together. That would have never happened if it wasn't for a music review live stream. So even if it's not directly promotion, it can lead to some cool things. But, if you just imagine, if you have 100 monthly listeners, another artist has 100 monthly listeners, you find each other. Even if you can't make a song together, maybe you can cross-promote each other a little bit so you can both grow your audiences a little bit. And on a related note, I actually have this written as a separate bullet point, but this is kind of the same thing, and that's befriend similar, smaller artists. So meaning if you want to find as many artists who are kind of doing the same thing you are, but especially when you're starting off, you probably want them to be around your size. Of course, it's awesome if they're bigger, but it's no good to you if they're so big that they would never want to collaborate with you because of some BS clout. Like you want to be able to build relationships with people who are in a similar situation. It's cool if they're bigger, but people that you might be able to collaborate with, have a good time with, help each other out. And it's kind of weird if one artist is like way big, and that can definitely work, but it's probably most likely that it's going to go well if you're kind of in a similar ballpark of size. So basically, the more connections you can make, even if they're not superstar artists, it's going to help you out long term. So the next thing I want to talk about, and I've mentioned this a few times so far, is that you really need to be consistent. And I've talked about it in terms of content creation, but ideally you should be uploading music, a new song, every 4 to 8 weeks. So no faster than every 4 weeks for the most part, and no slower than every 8 weeks for the most part. And the reason for this is that on Spotify, for example, you can't have more than one song in release radar for a given fan more than every 4 weeks. But if you wait too long to release new music, people start to kind of forget who you are. Whereas if someone just finds out about a new song that you dropped and they're loving it, and then 4 weeks later they get a new song, and every 4 weeks they're getting a new song, it gives them something to look forward to. And if they're seeing you multiple times, it's more likely that they're going to become a super fan or diehard fan, whatever you want to call them, than if they hear a new song and then there's nothing for 6 months. And so the tool that I use to distribute my music, and also the sponsor of this video, is DistroKid. And the reason why I use DistroKid, and actually the original reason why I signed up long before they ever sponsored a video on this channel, is pretty much just the price. So if you're just uploading for one artist for $19.99 for a year, you can upload unlimited music for one artist per year. So $20 a year, unlimited music. And now if you upgrade to the $35.99, I think it is, per year, you can upload unlimited music for 2 artists, and you can schedule your releases and reuse ISRC codes, which if you check out this video right here in the waterfall release strategy, you'll know why that's an important feature to have. But you can get that with DistroKid for just $35 a year. I'm in a label plan. I have like 10 or 12 artists, so I have a more expensive plan. But if you have a bigger need, like for a label or for management or whatever, they do have options for that as well. But I've been using them for years. Like, as you can see here, this is all music I've distributed through DistroKid. And aside from the low price, I mean, that was kind of the big perk when I started off. But over time, the kind of big perk that became most important to me was how fast they can get your music to Spotify. Because usually when I submit my music, within 48 hours, I can pitch it to editorial in Spotify for artists. And now another really cool thing that I like is the payment splits. And again, this didn't matter to me at all, because you can see back in time here, I didn't do any collabs for quite some time. I mean, this first release here was either late 2017 or early 2018. Yeah, I uploaded this January 8th, 2018. So at some point along the way, I started doing collaborations. And this one here in particular is one that I did a collab on. And DistroKid made the whole payment splits thing super easy. I'm probably going to have to blur some stuff out here. But if I click Edit Splits, and I'm probably going to have to blur some stuff out here, they make it super easy to split payments with other artists. So this was a 3-song collab. So basically everyone just gets a third of the royalties. And you can also do things like recoupment. So if I click that, and again, I have to blur some stuff out here, but But you could say, like, let's say you have one artist that has no money for marketing and you're going to pony up $1,000 for marketing. You could say that for the first, $1,000 the song makes, you're getting paid back. And then after that, it's a 50-50 split. They're super affordable, super fast. They distribute to a boatload of places. And I've been using them for years, and I've never once had an issue. And can't recommend them enough. So the next thing we're going to talk about is SubmitHub. And I've talked a bunch on this channel about SubmitHub. I'll link to a video right here that you can check out, talking about how to use the platform. It has changed a little bit since then. But the way it works is you can use credits to submit your music to curators, playlist curators, bloggers, Twitch streamers, whatever, YouTube channels, and they either accept it and share it or reject it with feedback. Now, they have two types of credits. They have free credits and premium credits. So obviously the premium credits are what you pay for, but they do have free credits. Now, not every curator on the platform will accept free credits. And honestly, the acceptance rate for free credits is much lower than for premium credits. You imagine the curator's not getting paid. There's less of an incentive to actually listen and or share your song. Just is how it is, right? SubmitHub, feel free to use the free credits. I think you get 2 submissions every 48 hours unless they've changed that rule. But even if you were to invest something like $20 or something, that's a pretty much free amount of money. And same with the music review live streams. I didn't mention this before, but even though a lot of people have free submissions, usually you can skip the line by paying. Usually something like $5, $20, depending on the size of the channel you're submitting on. The prices will be different, but there's usually a free way. It's just a lot harder to get your song heard, and same with SubmitHub. Now, the next thing we're going to talk about is Repost Exchange. This isn't something I've used heavily, but I do know people who have used it more heavily, and I'm not 100% in love with the way that this works, but basically you're essentially trading with other people on SoundCloud to repost your song to their page. And so why would we be using a SoundCloud to promote our stuff on Spotify? Well, you can kind of imagine there's a cross-promotion effect with this, where if you get, let's say you do a bunch of reposts and you get, let's say 200 new people to hear your song on SoundCloud, and maybe 10 of them actually like it, then maybe 5 of those people go to Spotify, and then like some go to Apple, some go to Deezer, some go to YouTube, etc. Right? So it's a kind of a numbers game where if you're doing a bunch of reposts, you're going to build some kind of fan base on SoundCloud. The engagement level of it might be hit or miss, because remember, a lot of this is going to be music artists. And also there are paid methods to accelerate the process, of course. But this is a free tool you can use to essentially just trade some of your time in exchange for a little bit of exposure to your music for free. Now, there's a really big thing that I don't talk about much on this channel, but it's playing shows. Playing shows can be a fantastic way to build your audience slowly over time, but also build a more diehard audience slowly over time. And it's really only effective if you're playing with the right people. If you're playing in like an open mic night, or you're playing at a talent show, it's not really going to matter. But if you're opening for a band who has the exact fans you're looking for, and you do a fantastic show, you're going to be growing your fan base. Let's say if you're playing in front of 200 people, for example. Maybe 10% of them really like your music. Some of them might sign up for a mailing list or buy something on site, but some of them are going to go stream your music. And if you play, let's say a show every month, you get 20 new fans every month. That's 200 people a year. And so it's kind of a numbers game, right? A lot of this stuff here is a numbers game, but that's kind of the way you should think about this stuff, is that if you're doing something small on a regular basis for a long period of time, it adds up to something big. So if you want to see how my band Every Waking Moment get its first 1,000 Spotify streams within 4 days of our debut single, you can check out this video right here where I show the entire Facebook ad strategy for how we promoted that song. We also got 2,000 Spotify followers and 1,000 YouTube subscribers in the first 6 months of existing. And in this video, I show how we did a bunch of promotion before our first song even came out. So anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next video. Bye.